Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, today is the day it finally has arrived, the submarine, the Kosatka Robbery. I have been talking about this, as you guys know, for weeks. Since they showed this trailer that you can see right here of the robbery of the submarine. But in this video, unfortunately, it does have the new cavalcade car, which we haven't got today. But that's fine. Well, I'm sure that'll come eventually. But I've just completed this mission. I have just finished it. I am editing this right now, putting it together for you. And this one was a lot of fun. You guys know I was going to say the Kosatka submarine. I do. I love the Kosatka. I love the submarine. And this one it's fun. It's a fun one. But there's definitely some tips and tricks that I'm going to be sharing with you guys here today, just to make your lives a little bit easier when you do it yourself. I would say out of all the robberies we've had so far with the Chop Shop, this one ranks number 2 for me. It's my second favorite. I'll be talking about why it's my second and which one's my first in this video. But it was a very close second, but it is second. So anyway, the timestamps are going to be down below if you're interested in specific parts of this, if you're struggling with certain sections. But if you just want some tips and tricks and just want to see what this new mission, this new robbery is all about, just watch it all the way through. But anyway, let's jump into it. So the time has finally come. The time is finally here. All of this time of me talking to you guys about the beloved submarine robbery. And it's finally come. We can finally do it. I've still got this beast right here from last week's podium robbery. Because like I told you guys, do not sell them. We'll be talking about it a little bit here as well today. When we get the 2 beauties. Well, actually, no, because this one's got a crappy... The trailer was this. Which, as you can see, has the new cavalcade, I think it's called. The new Escalade, basically. But it's clearly not in this one because they haven't released that car yet. This update today would have been a perfect, even though it wasn't technically an update, would have been the perfect time to release that vehicle because no one cares about it that much. But it would have been nice to have it now. But... Rockstar, what are you doing? But anyway, let's jump into this, ladies and gentlemen. Let's register as a boss really quick. Let's jump in. Now, like I say, you're not going to want to be selling these vehicles. I'll talk about it a little bit later on. But me personally, out of these 3 vehicles, technically, I don't know which one is going to be this new submarine robbery. But I'm assuming it's the Fathom FR36 because it's the most expensive one to sell. Me personally, out of these 3, I would take the I'd take the Ocelot Jugular over any of these. It's one of the best sounding cars in the game. I own one. If you guys have seen my top 10, was this Southern San Andreas Autos or was this Legendary Motorsports? Can't remember, but that video has this in it and it's beautiful. But anyway, we're rambling. Let's go ahead and jump into this. So basically, like I say, so are you sure you want to... Yes, I'm pretty sure this is going to be it. The McTony Robbery. This is the one, ladies and gentlemen. But anyway, just like other videos I've done like this, the way it's going to happen is I'm going to set this thing up and then I'm going to turn off my webcam here, turn off the face cam, and I'm just going to do the entire thing. And then once I've completed it all, I'm going to talk to you guys through it, walk you through it, tell you what I learned, tell you what was good, what was bad, the best ways to do things, just so it's an easier guide. Because if I do this as first impressions, maybe I'll miss some things. So I think it's better for me to do it and then just do a voiceover afterwards so I can explain to you guys. Maybe there's something I missed that I can then tell you. So anyway, to start these up, as you can see right there, scope out submarine, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go ahead and start this up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a salvage yard scope out. So for this one, typically, as you guys know, if you've seen my other salvage yard robbery videos, I always like to drive around, because especially since it's snowing, there's fun cars to drive in. But for this robbery, as you can see, my Oppressor Mark II was right outside, and I'm like, you know what? Let's do at least one of these robberies with the Oppressor. So get on your vehicle of choice. If it's an Oppressor, good for you. If not, then you're just gonna have to drive there. Now, here's where the tips and tricks are gonna come into play, because if you've done some of these Merryweather missions before, you know you can go on top of the roof here. Let's say you're trying to get the Stealth Annihilator for the Cayo Perico heist. There's a mission here where you have to take out the air support towers. You've all done it, I know you have, but you can go up on this roof right here, and you can take them out from up here, and it's super easy. I thought that was the case this time. I thought maybe I could get up there, take some pictures from up here. You can't, so don't even waste your time. Also, I was trying to do it stealthy and not take out any of these people. Don't worry about it. If you're doing this with a Sparrow or an Oppressor or a Buzzard or any vehicle like that where you can spam missiles, just take everyone out, head on down to the submarine, and just take your pictures. It's so much easier. So once I had taken everyone out, as you can see right here, we took a picture of the top of the submarine, we took a picture of the sonar, and we took a picture of the blueprints. And then we just have to return to the salvage yard. All right, and as always, once you complete a scope out mission, you get the entire board right here so you can see what it is. Now, as you can see up here on the top right, we have the tasks. Now, the tasks are available to do in free mode, which I'll show you here in a second. I always do those second. Not sure why, that's how I do it. So we'll go over those in a second. But first and foremost, as you can see down here, now we have the planning work open and we can see. So we need to get Tony's submersible, which we know from the trailer is the vehicle that we're going to be using to infiltrate this submarine. We need to get the sonar equipment, which, as we know from doing the Cayo Perico heist, is most likely going to be inside of a submarine, I'm guessing, but I don't know. We'll figure that out. And then there is optional disruption missions, which I'm not going to be doing because I always feel like, just like the Cayo Perico, they do make your life a hell of a lot easier. So if you are struggling with these, definitely do them. But if not, then don't worry about them. And I'm not going to worry about them. So anyway, first and foremost, Tony's submersible. All right, so for this one, once again, I called in my Oppressor Mark II. This is honestly, use an air vehicle to get around for these ones. It's just easier because they are kind of all over the map. So this time, once we got over to the location, as you can see right here, I just started taking everyone out. I was like, you know what? If this is how it's going to be, where there's going to be bad guys all over the place, don't try and do it stealthy. You're not going to get bonuses for doing it stealthy. Just take out every single person. If you're in a car, just park up, take out a sniper, start taking people out. Now, once you've taken everyone out, it's going to say to access the release switch. And if you're stupid like me, you may think, you know what? Instead of climbing the ladder, let's take our Oppressor Mark II to the top. Let me learn from my mistakes. I got up there, I got off my Oppressor, fell to my death. Don't do it. But anyway, once we've walked up to the top, as you can see right here, you release the submersible. It falls from the sky or from this little crane into the water. And at this point, I tried getting back on my Oppressor and failed miserably. So instead, I just ended up returning my personal vehicle to storage. And again, if you're going to try and be an idiot like me, learn from my mistakes. But I jumped off and thought I could just dive into the water, and we died again. So at least pull your parachute. I didn't even think. I just dove in. But either way, it doesn't matter, because then we grab the submarine and then you're just going to drive to the yellow marker. That is it. No one's going to be chasing you. Just drive on over there. It's quite boring, but you'll get there eventually. Now, at this point, I did say that I was going to do the secondary ones in free roam afterwards. I usually do them after, but since we just landed here and I was like, you know what? One of the secondary missions is right here. The other one is all the way up on the other side. So I just went to the closest one, spawned my Oppressor once more, and headed on over. So once you get to the location, you're going to give Jamal a call, and then he's going to say to steal a cutting torch. Now, this cutting torch does not look like the one from the Cayo Perico heist. It's not blue. It is very just neutral looking. And I was doing this at night, as you guys can see. So I just stayed on my Oppressor, and make sure you're looking around on the tops of the walls, on tops of boxes, on tops of things, because it could be in a different location for you. But as you can see, my keen eye right here, I saw something that was out of place. So I got off, and as you can see, this is what it looks like right here. And if you're in first person, it looks like this. And obviously, because it's snowing, this is supposed to be red, but it is white, so it blends in with everything. But it only took me about, I don't know, 60 seconds to find it. Once you've picked it up, you're just going to head on back to your salvage yard. Alright, so as I've said, you don't need to do the tasks or the planning work. One doesn't need to be done first. Typically, I usually do planning work first and then move on to tasks. But as you can see in this one, since it was right next to me, I just went ahead and got the cutting torch either way. Or right away, I should say. But now that we're back here, because we had to drop the cutting torch off in order to do it faster and more efficiently, we're going to go ahead and do the sonar equipment since we're here. So let's start this up. All right, the McTony Robbery sonar equipment. Back onto the Oppressor Mark II we go. So this time, again, learning from my own mistakes, I just started blasting. Absolutely just started blasting everyone. Again, you don't need to be stealthy for this mission. Just go in there, guns a-blazing, and just take everyone out. Once you've taken everyone out, make sure you have a weapon on you and then walk into the yellow circle to go inside the building, because you are just going to be under fire right away. You do have a little boat that you're kind of behind that saves you, but just go in there and shoot them all. There's not that many, but some of them do respawn, by the way, later on. You will get like 3, I think, more guards that come, so just keep that in mind. But just take them all out. I went to the top of the stairs right here because I caused a fire, and I was like, I don't want to burn to death. But at this point, it says to locate and break open the crates. Now, this is a tip for you guys. You don't actually have to blow them up like you do in other missions with like grenades or rockets. As you can see right here, I tried blowing this one up. First with the railgun, nothing happened. Then a rocket launcher, nothing happened. And I'm like, okay, this clearly doesn't work. So once I had taken out the second round of people, I just got off my ladder, went downstairs, and then you could see the marker, the white marker on the floor. And just so happened for me, I was lucky. The very first crate I opened, as you can see here, it had the sonar jammer inside of it. Or the sonar equipment, sorry. This isn't a jammer. This isn't the Cayo Perico heist. But anyway, it could be one of or any of these. I think there is 4 or 5 crates. So I think I got very lucky just choosing this one off the bat. But it could be in one of these for you, just FYI. So then you're just going to exit the warehouse. And luckily for me, I was on my oppressor, like I say. So I just got on there and headed back to the salvage yard. If you're on foot or in a vehicle, you are going to be chased. But for me, that wasn't the case because I was in an air vehicle. Okay, so after delivering this one, we literally just walked inside and turned straight back out because we had our free mode tasks to do. Now, this one is a little bit further up, as you can see on the map right here. So we just jumped on our oppressor and headed over. And once we got there, obviously, you've got to trigger the mission by landing at the base of the pier and calling Jamal. And then just fly straight on down to the very end of the pier. I looked around a little bit, but it ended up being just right next to where I landed, basically, in this location right here. And once you've picked it up, just step back on your oppressor or whatever vehicle you're using and head on back to the salvage yard. Right, guys, and as you can see from the tasks that we've done in free mode and the planning work that we've done, we still have the optional masks for the task or the optional disrupt weapons. We're not going to be doing either of those. Like I say, if you've done this and you're struggling, then go ahead and do them. But I have never done any of these for these heists or these robberies, and I've never had any problems. So we're not going to be doing it here today. But what we are going to be doing is starting this thing up. Let's do it. All right, and here we go for the McTony Robbery. The submarine robbery, ladies and gentlemen. Our target is the Fathom FR36. So first thing you're going to want to do, like I'm doing right here, is grab your vehicle. Hopefully you have an oppressor. If not, hopefully you got a Sparrow. If not, hopefully you got something fast. And head on over to Perico Cove. Once in Perico Cove, you're not going to have to worry about any bad guys or anything like that. You're just going to drive straight to the end of the pier, jump off and get inside of your submarine. Once in the submarine, you're going to drive on out to sea. Now, for me, I don't know if you guys were excited about seeing the killer whales, the orcas, like I was, but I was, and I was looking for them. I didn't see them anywhere. Let me know if on console they're there, because I know the console, the next gen at least, got a bunch of new animals and stuff, but I didn't see any, and I was sad. Now, once you get to the submarine, you're just going to drive right on up to the side of it, and it will prompt you to enter. Once you enter, you're going to be wearing like a disguise, so no one's really going to see you, but that disguise isn't going to last very long, I'm going to be honest with you. But the first thing you're going to want to do, which is going to trigger the alarms right away, is just head on down to your very first door, as you can see right here, and then you're going to open it up. Now, this is a really cool animation. Obviously, we got the little blowtorch thing right here. Not as good as the Cayo cutting torch, I may add, but you know what? It's good. Gets the job done. Now, I did try using a silenced weapon for this one. You got 4 consoles to take out, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to try and do it stealthily. So I pulled out a silenced, like, pistol, SMG. And then immediately, the first one I shot at triggered the alarm. So then you're just going to have to take out like 3 or 4 people that are up here with you and then just shoot at the other 4 consoles or the other 3. Now, once that is complete, I did end up just going through some doors. Like I say, when it's my first time doing it, I like to just look around, see what's happening. So we ended up going all the way over to the actual car that we're going to be stealing. But then we got up to the door and it says this door can't be open from this side. You got to do it the other way. And I'm like, okay, obviously we need to go back to where we were almost at the beginning and go underneath and back up on the other side. So that is exactly what we did. We went back into the room we started with, took out the 2 people that were in there originally that didn't trigger because they were like, oh, you're one of us, until like 2 seconds later when we triggered the alarm. We went downstairs, opened up another one of the doors. We took out quite a few people, and then we had to eliminate Tony's head of security. Now, this guy's kind of like a juggernaut. He's very strong. I had a really good angle on him where I could just shoot him in the head with my little SMG, silenced SMG. And I'm like, you know what? I think I need my shotgun for this. So I switched to my shotgun, and I eventually took him out. Once you've taken him out, you do have to collect the control codes from him. But once that's done, you head straight back upstairs again. There's going to be a few more people you need to take out. But if you've done the Cayo Perico Kosatka mission, this will be easy peasy for you. So you're going to get up to the bridge anyway, and once at the bridge, you're going to insert the control codes into the Kosatka, or the submarine, and then you have to take control of Tony's submarine. So you just go up to your seat. We've all done this, I'm sure, unless you're newer to the game and you don't own a Kosatka. But anyway, once this is complete, you are literally going to just drive straight for the shore. And I have been waiting for this cutscene. I've been watching this for so bloody long. This was awesome for me. It's just a full speed ahead, smashing up onto the bloody snowy beach. It was awesome. I loved it. It's so cool, man. All right, so once you've done that, you're going to head on over to the FR36. But now you can go through that door that we couldn't on the other side and go straight in. Once inside, you're going to head back on over. And with the codes you have, you're going to activate the landing pad. And then the car is yours. Get inside. and it'll go up just like the Sparrow does when you're inside of it. And then you're going to end up on the bloody roof of this thing with a gazillion cops. Now, the majority of the cops on your mini-map, it's kind of like a stakeout. They're all going to be there, but they're not going to be moving. A lot of these aren't going to chase you. They're just literally sitting there. It's just for dramatic effect. I actually tried getting a thumbnail for this video by just driving around in circles here for a little bit. So don't worry, they're not all going to get you. Anyway, what I ended up doing is just heading straight for the train tracks. I feel like we all know where they are. It's very close. Just head for the mountains. Before you hit the mountains, you will hit the train track and just take a right and keep going. Eventually, you're going to get inside of the tunnel and you can just sit here and wait. No cops are going to come in. They're not going to be able to see you. You're literally just going to sit here for like 4 or 5 minutes, maybe less. It just felt like that until the wanted level is gone. After that, just keep on driving down the train tracks. Eventually, you're going to get some roads, but keep in mind that it is snowy. These roads are going to be slippery, so be careful when you're driving around water. You don't want to do what I almost did, which is almost going off the edge of the bloody thing into the water, and I would have had to start that part again. But anyway, once you've got rid of the cops and everything, and you get outside of this tunnel, you can just find your own way back, but head on back to the salvage yard. All right, guys, I figured we could put the face cam back on at this point. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. I think mainly, like, driving it up onto the beach. I think it's because of this white box image right here that you can see. That's the original leaked version that I showed you guys. But I had a lot of fun. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions, my final thoughts here in a second. But it was cool. It was something different. I was wondering how we were going to get out of there with this thing. But obviously, we just jumped off the bloody roof of it. All right. So anyway, we failed to find the head of security in 1 minute. No lives lost. We got 10k and over 15 headshots. So we just didn't get the head of security. Again, though, later on when we replay these missions...
Boss, I saw something you might be interested in.
Excuse me, assistant. A little busy. When we replay these missions, obviously we'll do it faster. But when it says, oh, you didn't complete it in a minute, it doesn't matter. It's the first time doing it. And I would suggest you guys do the same thing, which is just take your time, look around, see if there's any Easter eggs or anything like that. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to rush through these to get these bonuses, by the way. But anyway, ladies and gents, as you can see now, we have 2 vehicles sitting here. And I am going to be keeping... I'm going to be keeping both of these. Little badger right here. So obviously, if you saw last week's video, I said do not sell this one. We are going to be keeping it because we're hopefully soon, probably next month. Well, obviously next month at this point. But there is an update coming where we are going to be able to purchase these as personal vehicles. Yusuf even said it at the beginning. We've had leaks on it. I've done a video on it. I'll leave it linked in the description if you want to go check that video out where I go into more detail on how we're going to be able to buy these things. But it's literally going to be for like 10 to 20,000. So as of right now, some people get a little bit upset with this business saying that, oh, it's not worth it. You know, you can only do these cars once a week. First of all, how many of you actually did all 3 of these last week? After the first week when we did all 3 of them, how many did you do last week? Do you really think you would do all 3 every single day if they said you will give you a 24-hour cooldown? Because I personally don't think you would. Because to do all 3 is going to take you around 3 hours. I personally... I'm going to get so much hate for this. Don't mind that it's a week cooldown. Maybe if it was like 48 hours, you know, 2 or 3 days. Maybe if you could do it twice a week, I'd be happier. But I'm not going crazy that it's a week cooldown because we have the tow truck part of it right here, which you can consistently do, which I don't even have those up right now. We have the wall safe that I got 140k in that I need to empty out. And then I've still got 2 more of these robberies to do, which is going to take me a couple hours to do. So yeah, I think doing 1 robbery a day, it's an hour of work a day, by the way, is fine. But some people aren't going to want to spend an hour a day just doing vehicle robberies. They're going to want to do other things. They don't have time to play for 2, 3, 4, 5 hours a day. So maybe if you do 3 a week, which is 3 hours, maybe you do 3 days a week you spend doing this. Yeah, I'm getting to the point now where I'm not minding that it's a week cooldown. But the other thing is that you are going to be able to purchase them. So people that are mad that it's a week cooldown, when it gets to the point where we may be able to purchase these cars behind us from anywhere from 10 to 20,000, wouldn't that make this business even better? That you're going to be able to purchase these vehicles for so cheap? I do not own this vehicle behind me. I'm waiting. I haven't purchased this thing yet. I want this one right here. I'm holding on to it until we can do it. Now, here's the thing. You may be thinking, but if I hold on to all these cars, there's 4 spaces right here. Then what? I'm going to have to sell them. Well, you can always sell some of them that aren't good, right? So I'm going to keep these 2 because these are kind of like the podium vehicles this week. Each week you get one really good one and then a couple okay ones. But if we look at the list right here, the Ocelot Jugular I would keep. So I already own a really good one though, so I don't need it. But then the Sugoi I would get rid of. Just sell it. Or scrap it if that's what you want to do. But basically, you can keep this really good one. You can keep this really good one. You can keep next week's really good one. And then you can have one spot here left where you can keep rotating. You can do a mission, sell one, do a mission, sell one, do a mission, sell one. And then if you get a better car than some of these, then go ahead and sell one of the... You know what I'm saying? I would just say, definitely hold on to the cars that you like that are part of these robberies, because there's just no reason to sell them. And even if you hold on to them for a month, you can still sell them eventually and you're still going to get the same amount of money. It's not like the value's going down. So just hold on to the cars that you really like from doing these robberies. That's all I'm saying. If you want them, hold on to them. No point selling them. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed. As far as like final thoughts on this exact mission, the robbery of the Kosatka, the submarine, I think I did prefer last week. I did prefer the podium robbery. I think the podium robbery, the Diamond Casino one, was actually sick. Like, it was really cool. I loved the concept. I loved the actual robbery itself. I loved, like, the entire thing, the setups, the whole thing was cool. This one wasn't bad, and you guys know I love the Kosatka. I just don't think it was as fun as the podium robbery. I love it coming up onto the beach and beaching it and then jumping off and having to escape and all of that. That was cool. But I personally preferred the podium robbery. But let me know what you guys think. Out of all the robberies we've had so far, we've had 4 now in total for the salvage yard. Which is your favorite? My personal one, again, the podium robbery. This was definitely a close second, though. I was kind of hoping there was going to be orcas swimming around, but there wasn't. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys, as always, tomorrow with a brand new video. Goodbye.